This is now abuse. What's going on in Denver? What's going on with this baker? His name is Jack Phillips. It's Masterpiece Cake Shop. You've heard that name before. Me, Tony Katz, 93 WIBC. On Facebook, Tony Katz Radio. He is the one who refused to make a specialty cake for a same-sex wedding. And the state of Colorado went after him. The press went after him. It went to the Supreme Court, and they said the state violated his religious liberties. That's what they said. They didn't rule on anything else, just this very narrow ruling about religious liberty. There have been other people going after this cake shop, suing this cake shop. The most recent, someone by the name of Autumn Scardinia, who, according to some reports, going from male to female, wanted a cake for their transition, and he said, I don't make that kind of cake. Not that you couldn't come in and buy a cake, but if you want some specialty designed cake, he doesn't do that kind of stuff. Jack Phillips doesn't do this. But you already know that. And everybody who knows the story, I mean, and many people do, know that this is not what he does. So why would you go to him and ask? Unless, of course, your plan is to try and sue him and beat him into some level of submission. This is what's happening here. This is abuse. This is abuse, and no one should be okay with it. Everyone should stand up and say, this is wrong. This Autumn Scardinia sued, and the case got tossed out, and now they're coming back and doing it again. They're suing again because what their claim is that, oh, this is just a birthday cake, and he won't sell it to us, so it proves that he really discriminates against this, that, the other. You know what the hardest part about freedom is? The hardest part about freedom is the right to discriminate. I am not saying it's smart to discriminate. I'm not saying it's a good business practice to discriminate. I'm not saying it's kind or good or decent or holy or worthy to discriminate. But if you have a business, you can run it the way you see fit. When we try and tell people they have to do this, have to do that, have to do the other, that's no longer freedom. You cannot be free if you can't say no. If you cannot say no, there is no possibility for freedom. Very often people talk about it as if you can't own real property. If I can't own things, right? Actual physical items. If they can be taken from me, well, how can I be free? I believe that if you can't say no. If you cannot say no, you cannot be free. No one should be wanting a society where Jack Phillips of Masterpiece Cake Shop is forced to bake a cake. Now, you might think it's ridiculous and maybe wrong that he won't make a cake for someone who's transitioning. Okay. You might think it's wrong that someone not make a cake for a Nazi. I wouldn't make a cake for Louis Farrakhan. There is not a power on earth, no court, no judge, no gun to my head, if I owned a bakery that could get me to bake a cake for Louis Farrakhan, that anti-Semite bigot. And I very much doubt you would make that cake either. And this is the point. Everybody has got their thing. And in a free society, people can say no. You could decide to be angry. You could decide to tell your friends. You could post a bad review on Yelp. But you can't sue them into submission. And the people trying that are wrong, and the people supporting those people trying that are wrong. Let the guy make cakes. There are a lot of other bakers in Denver. Dear Lord, find one. I'm Tony Katz.
24